What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through my team selection for Game Week 9 for the FPL game. So stay tuned. We're going through all my transfers, how I did in Game Week 8, what my knee-jerks were, and what my plans are for the weeks ahead. If you guys have been here before and you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and please like the video as well if you do enjoy the content. So let's get stuck into the video, guys. First things first, let's review Game Week 8. It was a bit of a disaster for me, to be fair. I was first time below the average for a weekly score this season. I did take 4 hits, so I made 5 transfers and I took a minus 16 points. So my biggest loss was Edison, and Diaz came on as a substitute, but from the back we had Foster, who came in for Edison, who was ineligible to play, mostly due to the fact that he flew back after playing a Brazil game from Friday morning onwards, so he wasn't ready and fit to play. So for me, luckily Foster was on the bench, got 1 point, even though he conceded 5 against Liverpool, a disappointing day. So for me, it was an ideal position for me to have my goalkeeper and one of my main defenders not playing. So Foster came in. The back line, I had Diaz, who came in and got a point. Despite not starting the game, he could have got 6 points for the clean sheet against Burnley, but came on for a few minutes. It's good to know that, the fact that, I know that he's been rotated, so potentially I think it's to do with his workload management. So I'm pretty confident he should be back and playing for Man City next weekend onwards. Then I had Cancelo, who played at right back rather than left back because Walker was also benched. Got 6 points, could have had much more. Had a great save from Pope, which could have been a goal. It was a great strike, but straight at the keeper. But 6 points brought him in, rewarded me for sure. Livramento came off my bench for 6 points. So again, that was a really good bench play from me to get some points for him from the bench on my team. Now for the midfield, Rafinha did not play or feature again because of Brazil. So he was one of another players who did not feature for my team. So out of my starting 11 lineup, 4 players did not feature and 2 came on to save the day. So eventually I ended up playing with 9 players in total. Then I had Jota, who was taken out for Firmino, and Firmino did indeed take his chance against Watford, got the hat-trick. So I think he should be in line to potentially start against Manchester United as well. Am I losing trust and faith in Jota now? I have backed him for, let's say, 5 game weeks back-to-back. Maybe it is indeed time for me to look elsewhere and see if I can booster my squad. Then I've got Andros Townsend, got 2 points. Had a bit of a quiet game over the weekend against West Ham. I'm hoping for more returns, especially with potentially Calvert-Lewin in the pipeline for a return soon. And we should hopefully be able to see Richarlison coming back for Everton, which will give him a bit more booster in terms of strength up front for Everton. And Mo Salah, as always this season so far, saved my day as the captain, got me 26 points, with 13 points would have been his total score if I didn't captain him. Again, what can I say? The best player in the world, can't go without him being in my squad. So for me, he's an essential. I'm kind of glad I kept him in my squad because without him, I don't know where my team would be indeed. But again, he looks good. He has Manchester United next, who have been defensively very fragile over the last couple of game weeks. They're there for the taking. Is it worth sticking with him as captain, despite Lukaku playing Norwich? We'll get into all that discussion, but 26 points for me. I was very, very glad I did indeed captain him for this game week. Now, Lukaku got me 2 points against Brentford. He scored a goal, which was from an offside position. He also didn't really create that many chances in the game. Now, is this a bit of an overreaction for us? Because let's have a look at Lukaku generally, how he's done in the last couple of game weeks. So he scored against Aston Villa, which we expected him to score. Did we actually really expect him to score against Tottenham? It's a difficult game. I know they haven't had the best of starts, but they won 3-0, and the goals came from mostly defenders in that game. And then they had Man City at home. Again, a difficult fixture. Southampton, 3-1 at home, had some really good chances. Could have expected him to score in that game. And then Brentford away. Again, he only got 2 points, no returns. There was the expectation for him to return. So maybe I'm overreacting. I'm not too sure. But I think Southampton and Brentford, we really could have seen a bit more from Lukaku. Now, looking at his fixtures, We can see Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley. Norwich and Newcastle pretty much have had one of the weakest defences so far this season. So is it actually the right thing to take him out if I was to substitute him? We'll discuss that all through. If I were to transfer him out, will it be the right choice or not? Then we go on to Antonio. Antonio got me 1 point. He got a yellow card for a dive. I think that was a bit of a harsh decision when I went back and watched the highlights. It wasn't a foul, but it wasn't a dive either. So I don't know what the referee was actually thinking at that point. But hey, he got a yellow card. It's a bit of a quiet game. He's got some difficult fixtures coming up. So is it actually going to be worth us sticking with Antonio or making a transfer? We'll go through all that in the Game Week 9 team selection. And then last but not least, I've got St. Maximin. He got 2 points. Callum Wilson back in the squad, got a goal immediately against Spurs. They lost 3-2 at home. But we can expect more from St. Maximin in the coming weeks. I think he's had a quiet week. It's not just only the fact that the Spurs did play well. And he did have some really good chances. But I think, with the fixtures coming up, there will be some games out there, especially with Callum Wilson back. He should get some more assists. If not, he'll get some opportunities to score some goals indeed. Now, let's move on to my selection for Game Week 9. So, as you guys can see, I've made 3 transfers. So, I will be taking an 8-point hit. And I think I'm satisfied now with where I've got in my team and where I've got to. There's only one more transfer I'm looking to make, and that won't cost me anything for the next week if they are available. But I'll go through that as I go through my team selection. So, at the back, I'm sticking with Edison against Brighton, which is an away game. So I'm tripling up on Manchester City in defence. I predict and I hope Diaz should be back and available, considering he's played in the Champions League, along with Cancelo. So I'm tripling up on the Man City defence, including Edison. So if I get a clean sheet, that'd be a nice 18 points coming my way. And if there are any additional bonuses, then hopefully a nice 20 points from 3 players. Fingers crossed that there will be a clean sheet against Brighton. Now, I brought in Alexander-Arnold. So I've taken out Rudiger. This is my first transfer. Yes, I know it's against Manchester United at Old Trafford. But to be fair, Manchester United's attacking line hasn't been that fruitful. The defence has been leaky. And at Old Trafford, they have been very, very disappointing for the last, I'd say, a season and a half. I've been saying it. There was no crowd there last season. But I don't really expect much in terms of a fight from Manchester United, to be honest. I'm a United fan. I can be hopeful, but I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. So I brought in Alexander-Arnold for a long-term plan. Without him for a couple of weeks, I felt very lost, so I had to bring him back immediately after taking him out. Got 6 points last week for the clean sheet. Already has 2 assists so far. So after the Manchester United game, they got Brighton, West Ham, Arsenal, Southampton, and then we get a good game week from 15 all the way to 20. I think personally, it doesn't really matter much against the fixture. I think he's pretty much for me like a midfielder, another attacking option. So I brought him in. At the moment, the ownership's only 23.5%. So that's quite low for Trent, in my opinion. He was around the 36 mark a couple of weeks ago. But I think there will be some game weeks where he will get some returns. And I would like to be in that position to be able to take the most off his points before I get the 10 to 15% of managers jumping back to bring him into their squad. So that's what my back line looks like. I've got Edison, Diaz, Alexander-Arnold and Cancelo. Now, I am going to be captaining Mo Salah against Manchester United away. So there might be a lot of eyebrows raised, people thinking, what are you doing? He's just been insane. He's the top point scorer, and there is no reason for me not to captain him. He's scored in the last 6 games in a row, and he's got 3 assists. So in the last 6 games, he's got 9 returns with 4 double-digit returns in there. For me, he's owned by 64.4% of managers. Yes, I know Lukaku this week will be a very popular choice for captaincy. That doesn't mean Salah will not. I think Salah won't be as popular this week as he would, like, for example, the Watford game or the Brentford or Crystal Palace games or Leeds. But Manchester United at Old Trafford, I really think without Varane and Harry Maguire having a shocking game last game week, they are there for the taking. And the form that Salah is in, I'm very, very fearful as a United fan. The game weeks to follow, we discussed again, Brighton, West Ham, Arsenal, Southampton. He definitely can continue getting these returns. So for me, he's not just a captaincy option for every week that we have. The reason why I'm selecting him as captain is I think that his current form, plus United's weak defence and record at home, makes him a really good fixture for me to target. And I don't think he's going to be captained by as many managers. So maybe a differential option for me to really take advantage if he does. pull off a big score and someone like a Lukaku doesn't fire or blanks again, that could help my rank massively this game week. I'm sticking with Rafinha. 20.1% of managers own him, 6.6 mil. Didn't play the last game week against Southampton due to the COVID travel restrictions and the fixture being so late in the week before the game for Leeds. But he's back, he's playing Wolves, and this run still continues. Yes, they have Leicester and Tottenham in game weeks 11 and 12, but Wolves, Norwich, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Brentford, before hitting Chelsea in game week 16, he does look a really good option. And obviously, Bamford, we're still waiting on his injury front, but he looks very threatening whenever he does play. I'm expecting him to get some more returns, goals, assists, being part of the gameplay. They've had a disappointing start to the season, and I think if anyone's going to help boost them or create that positive environment for Leeds, it will be Rafinha. So that's why he is in my squad, and I'm leaving him in for the next couple of game weeks at least. Now, the new recruit, the second player I brought in, is Wilfried Zaha. Now, it says 75% chance of playing due to illness. He did not feature in the Arsenal game on Monday. He was out due to illness, so Vieira confirmed after the game that he's fine. He will be back in training on Wednesday morning with the squad, and he should be fine for the weekend's game that they are playing. So I'm pretty hopeful he should be featuring in the Newcastle game because there's no concerns by Vieira. He just needed a bit of rest after coming back from his international duty. So Newcastle, followed by Man City in game week 10, Wolves, Burnley, Aston Villa, Leeds. There's some really good fixtures coming in. After the Manchester United game and Everton, there's again a nice couple of games run. And since Vieira's come in, there's been a real spark, a real positive environment around Crystal Palace, and their main talisman is Wilfried Zaha. They've got Edouard, Benteke scored. They're looking really offensive. They've got Ayew in there as well, and MacArthur. They're looking good at the moment, and they were lucky not to win at the Emirates against Arsenal without Wilfried Zaha as well. So they're looking good. They're really pushing teams, and I wanted Wilfried Zaha in for two reasons. A, is it a good differential option with only 7% ownership, and he's got some good fixtures coming up, and the way Palace are playing, I'm really hopeful for him to give me that differential aspect and for me to take advantage by having him in my squad. Now, I've kept Townsend. Almost 11% of managers have him, 5.7 mil, blanked in the previous game against West Ham with 5 returns so far with 3 goals, 2 assists. But look at his fixture run still continuing. Watford, Wolves, I think there should be good games from, and Tottenham as well defensively, who haven't been that great. Then they got Man City in game week 12. A couple of seasons ago, he scored an absolute, I'd say wonder goal at the Etihad Stadium. If you haven't seen it, please search it. The Townsend goal against City, absolute class goal. Then Brentford, Liverpool, and they do have some really good fixtures. And Townsend with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison potentially coming back soon, along with Gray, Decore, Allen. They look good. And I'm gonna stick with him. Without Calvert-Lewin on the pitch, he is on penalties, and he's pretty much mostly part of their gameplay as well. Now, I've got to say Maximin is going to stay in my squad. They've got Crystal Palace away. Kind of blanked in the last 2 game weeks, Wolves and Tottenham. 2 goals and 3 assists so far, but they've got Crystal Palace, who have done well. But if Maximin gets into good positions, they can be scored against. So I'm persisting with him for another week, and hopefully Callum Wilson, along with him, can get a real good fruitful returns against Crystal Palace. I've kept Antonio in my squad. 45.6% of managers still have him in. His price has increased once again to 8.1 mil. 9 returns so far, 50 points so far in the season. His last return was 2 weeks ago against Leeds, which was a goal, but he's not scored or assisted against Everton or Brentford in his last 2 games. The fixtures do get tough, so maybe his ownership might come down now. But maybe in game week 18 against Norwich, there's a change in fixtures again, so he might come back in. But there's no reason why he can't score against the teams who's playing in the next couple of game weeks. So Tottenham, Aston Villa, Liverpool, who conceded 3 against Brentford. You got Wolves, Man City, Brighton, Chelsea, Burnley, Arsenal. So maybe keeping him in might be a good option, but there might be alternative options you could target at that point. Someone like a Jimenez, Callum Wilson, Tony from Brentford. So there are options for you to look at from there. But for now, I'm sticking with Antonio, and keeping him in my squad. Now, I've made the transfer which will absolutely, shock some managers. So I've knee-jerked and I've taken out Lukaku. Yes, I've taken Lukaku out before the Norwich game, and I've brought in Jamie Vardy as my 3rd transfer for this game week. 7 goals, 1 assist. He scored 5 goals in the last 4 games. He's in absolute scintillating form. 56 points already this season, and his fixtures, Brentford, Arsenal, Leeds, Chelsea, Watford, Southampton. He's carrying on scoring. I know he can score against any team in the Premier League. And I've watched him play, and I'm thinking to myself now, I'd rather have him in my squad with the form he's in. Look, he can lose his form, and Lukaku can regain his form at any point. But right now, I think rather looking from behind the sofa and watching Vardy play so well and Lukaku play so shocking, I'm just knee-jerking, and I want to have Jamie Vardy in my squad. So I've brought in Jamie Vardy for this game week, and that is what my squad's going to be looking like. So a lot of people are going to be going Lukaku. Again, that's entirely your choice. I personally felt that Lukaku's added no value to my squad, and a striker who's worth nearly £12 million and he's not on penalties doesn't add much value. Yes, he might bag a hat-trick against Norwich, my bad luck, but for me long-term I think Vardy might be a more suitable option considering he's on penalties as well and is in good form at the moment. So that's what my team looks like at the moment. Let's say Zaha isn't fit, which I'm sure he will be for the weekend. Livramento against Burnley should come on, and I'll be looking to make some more transfers in the future. I've got 1.3 mil in the bank, so say maximum will go up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he comes in, and that will be my squad completed. And obviously then in the bench I will look to upgrade as well to fit myself up for a bench boost later on in the season, and to maximise my returns for that game week. So let me know what your thoughts are for the team. This is what it looks like at the moment. In terms of fixtures, I can show you the team at the top. These are the top 5 fixtures teams according to the FPL fixture difficulty rating. Chelsea at the top, City at number 5. And in between, you can see Southampton, Leeds, and Brentford, who have the fixtures as well. So, yes, I've taken out Lukaku. There'll be eyebrows raised. People will laugh at me. But to be fair, that's my way of thinking. I do believe Jamie Vardy does look good. And the concern is for Lukaku's form. He may come back and bag a hat-trick, as I've said. But I'd rather go for someone who's in form at the moment. And these are the most toughest fixtures for the last 5 clubs. So you can see Liverpool, who've got those fixtures there. Manchester United followed by them. Tottenham. And then you've got West Ham. And then you've got Watford right at the bottom. So these are what the fixtures do look like for the teams coming ahead. That is my Game Week 9 squad. 3 transfers made. I'm ready now and set up for the next, let's say, I'd say 5 to 10 game weeks at least, in case there's any injuries or any other concerns. I'll be making transfers, but I've taken hits over the last 4 game weeks consistently, but now I do feel more settled, and this is a squad I'm going to be moving forward with in the long term. Let me know what you think of this squad. If you have any questions and I haven't discussed any players you're looking at, let me know. And if there's our players that I've brought in and you want to find out more about, let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the FPL INKLING League on my league on the FPL website. Till then, take care, keep tuned for more content, and stay safe.